Monday. Well, we are talking about hypnotherapy today, a completely different subject. And I don't know if people know that hypnotherapy can really help with anxiety, with self-esteem, clearing your thoughts, negative thoughts. Well, that's why we have a clinical hypnotherapist with us from UK, Jacquie. Thank you so much, Jacquie, for joining me today.
Oh, hi there. Yes, thank you for inviting me along. It's a pleasure to join you and talk about hypnotherapy because it is something that a lot of people don't really know a lot about. And can be sometimes a little bit nervous to try it because they don't understand what it is about. So hypnotherapy is a perfectly natural phenomena that a lot of us experience multiple times a day. And it's really when we just kind of fall into just a relaxed, altered state of awareness when our mind has drifted off. So it's often we experience it when we're driving or reading a book or watching a telly. So yeah, so it's a natural thing, and it's very therapeutic and deeply relaxing as well.
Okay, so let's just talk about we focus on women's health. So women over 40, it doesn't matter actually if you're a woman over 40, but you could be having anxiety, issues with clearing your thoughts, some kind of a self-esteem. So let's just talk through how can hypnotherapy help, right? What happens? What is the process? Like, you're going to put people in a subconscious mind and you're talking, how does it work and how does it help, right?
Well, the thing with anxiety and lack of self-esteem that an awful lot of women seem to experience as we get a little bit older is that it is just the imagination. All anxiety is the imagination. It's where the mind and the thoughts are running away with themselves. And when it comes to anxiety, we really have to learn to be able to pull ourselves back and to actually question our own thoughts. And it's almost as if we have to call them out and ask for the truth. Now, when we're looking at anxiety, what's always happening is the mind is usually bypassing the current, the present moment, and it's really jumping way into the future, and it's coming up with a worst case scenario. Now, when we're using hypnotherapy, it's a really great way to let the mind work with metaphors, because the mind loves metaphors, and it helps the mind to see things in a different picture, in a different perspective, so that it's letting you see that actually you have got the tools that are available and you can allow yourself to feel confidence and to move forward and to let go of thoughts. So yeah, it's a wonderful tool just to help the mind to see exactly what it is that you're wanting to see.
Okay, so what happens in a session? Let's say you're doing a hypnotherapy session. How can hypnotherapy session starts reaching our mind in a subconscious mind? I mean, I just want to understand the mechanics of a hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
That's what I really want to understand.
Yeah, so the science with hypnotherapy, what's actually happening is when we go into hypnosis, and as I say, it's nothing strange. You're not out of control. You can hear, you can communicate, you can talk. You'll be aware of all your surroundings. But it's when we're in this altered state of awareness, it's the brain waves that have come down. And when we have got these lovely, low, relaxed, calm brain waves, this is the perfect state for neuroplasticity, where the brain can actually learn to have a different thought. It's almost as if we're able to start seeing in a different way. It's a great way for the mind to imagine opening a door and stepping through into a different thought process. So it is working with the neuroplasticity of the mind. It is helping with the formation of new thoughts, new behaviors, new patterns. And we haven't then at the same time got the conscious mind putting in the negative thought processes, the fears that would normally be there, sort of that we would invoke ourselves, stopping us from being able to imagine things. We've just got the self-conscious mind running. Now, when we're dealing with the self-conscious mind, it doesn't actually have the ability to know the difference between fact or fiction. What the subconscious mind is seeing, it thinks is real, which is why if we are watching a scary film, we can feel all of the fear emotions, or if we're watching a sad film, we can be weepy and we become absorbed into the character and we feel their emotions. When we're in hypnosis, it's the same thing. Our mind takes on everything as if it's actually happening. So this is a great way for mental rehearsal to happen, where we can actually then start to see ourselves feeling more confident, behaving in the way that we wish to feel, to lift off any of the fears that we're thinking we're having. I mean, in terms of, thought processes and memories, we can't change anything, nothing changes. But if we can help to start to look at things a little bit more differently, then that's when things start to become a lot easier for us to move forward and do things.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you this question. How is hypnotherapy different from when a person goes for psychotherapy, like a therapist, right? Therapist counseling. How does this differ, a hypnotherapy session from a counseling session?
Okay, so the two things do differ. When you go for counseling or psychotherapy or any form of talking therapy, you're really talking over the issue that you're presenting with. And the thing, and all therapies have their place, but the thing sometimes with talking therapies is that the more we talk about an issue or a problem that we're feeling, the more we can actually start to build it in our minds, rather than hypnotherapy. A lot of it is used metaphorically, so the mind helps to see things in a different way, rather than actually just re-talking and talking the problem that you're having. So a lot of it is to do with suggestion as well. So if you're listening and hearing the suggestions, that you can feel more confident and feel good about yourself, and that you have the ability to behave in this way, then these suggestions into the mind actually help us to, come out of hypnosis and feel generally a little bit better about ourselves.
Okay, and then, so let's say someone is having anxiety, right? How many hypnotherapy sessions you think they have to go through? And then let's say they go through 4 or 6 hypnotherapy sessions. Can they listen to you on some kind of a recording afterwards to just make sure that they are able to clear their thoughts or not have negative thoughts? What is the process there?
Yeah, but for working with myself, I mean, every therapist is different, but when I'm dealing with people with anxiety, I like to do usually a minimum of 6 sessions. Now, myself, my sessions take on multiple modalities. It's not just hypnosis, so there will be the coaching aspect. There will be partly some talking therapy in terms of reframing. I like to work with everybody very much holistically. So although we're dealing with the mind and helping people to feel better about themselves, there's so much more has to go in place as well. We have to look at lifestyle. Lifestyle has to be taken into account, because if it's not balanced, if lifestyle is lacking, if sleep is lacking, if nutrition is lacking, then we are going to have issues also that are impacting with the thought process, because everything is linked. So for myself, this is why I like to run at least 6 sessions where I am covering multiple things, because I am also trained in nutrition. But certainly in terms of anxiety, what we eat does matter, because it does affect our thought process. But yes, I do, in answer to your question, I do send my clients away with recordings to listen to, because the actual practice of doing self-hypnosis or any form of meditation or mindfulness is incredibly therapeutic. And it's something that is lacking in sort of our modern day life, because so much of our modern day life is just full of stimulation. So even when we think we're having downtime, people are on their phones, they're on their laptops, we're mindlessly scrolling. We're not actually doing the real things that we need to do to help our minds to relax and come down. And it is the change in these brain waves that sort of help to signal to our mind to be relaxed when we are invoking these sort of practices. So yeah, multiple things. Breathing exercises also. So yeah, there's a whole host of things that go into sort of bringing that mental wellness to somebody.
Okay, so I would say hypnotherapy is sort of like a meditation in a different way, right? If you know you are talking, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, there are some sort of similarities and crossovers. I mean, meditation, guided meditation, if we're thinking of that, then yes, it is guiding with the aim of relaxing. Hypnosis has a purpose to it, though, in that we are using metaphors and suggestions to help people to achieve what they are wanting to achieve, whereas guided meditation really is just about relaxing. Guided meditation, yes, we are more relaxed as opposed to if we're just doing meditation ourselves, which requires a lot more focus. Whereas hypnosis, we have got an altered state of focus. It doesn't require you know, the intensity. We are looking at that different state. But yes, I can always see sort of some crossovers with them all, and they all have a huge amount of benefit.
Okay, so well, that's great. I mean, this is a quick 10-minute session that we bring on a daily basis. Today's session was how hypnotherapy can help. And a lot of us don't understand hypnotherapy. We think it's like a voodoo science, right? I mean,
Yeah, but
any
it's
comments
not.
on that? Any comments on
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, people think that, but it's completely natural. And as I say, you're not out of control. In fact, driving is the point where most people slip into just a natural form of hypnosis. It's when you arrive at your destination and you can't really remember how you got there, you know, whether you've gone through the lights or that sort of thing. But totally natural in that you would sort of come back to awareness, because we're never out of control when we're driving, and hypnosis is exactly the same state. It's just in that nice sort of bringing the brain down into that nice flow, relaxed place. So yeah, there's no sort of mystery, sort of strangeness about it.
And I do want to emphasize there's a lot of research out there, which most of us don't know, how hypnotherapy, on efficacy of hypnotherapy is similar to how we have so much research on yoga, meditation, of course, food as medicine, and hypnotherapy has a ton of research that I myself have looked through it. Do you want to comment a little bit on the research out there for hypnotherapy before we close the session today?
Yeah, sure. Oh, there's a wealth of research. Yeah, absolutely. It's very well researched and has been used for multiple different things, you know, even down, you know, whether it's pain or if we're looking at women in the menopause to bring hot flushes down, to help the mind to be able to perceive the intensity of a hot flush differently. There's also evidence of it being used in terms of operations for the anesthetic. So there is a wealth of information around hypnosis and its benefits. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much. That is what we are doing on a daily basis. We bring a session from an expert from all over the world, and we are launching programs specifically for women in the new year. So stay tuned. Hypnotherapy definitely is going to be there because I am super excited. So thank you so much, Jacquie, for being with me. And have a great week, everyone. Anything else you want to add? Last thought before I wrap up today?
No, that's all good. Thank you. Thanks ever so much for asking me on. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.